If you want a longevity hack, I mean, fiber is kind of the longevity hack. If you look at some of these cohort studies, there was actually a recent really large meta-analysis of over a million subjects. And basically what it showed was that for every 10 gram increase in fiber, there was a 10% reduction in the risk of mortality. And that extended specifically also to cardiovascular disease and cancer. So one of the things I'll tell people when they get like really into, whether it's intermittent fasting or, all these other things, say, that's great. Are you eating like over 50, 60 grams of fiber a day?
And I just conceptualize 50 to 60 grams. So if I were to eat like a bowl, let's just say a quarter plate of broccoli, and the broccoli isn't stacked to the ceiling. The broccoli is just reasonably stacked on there. Approximately how many grams of fiber is that? If it's like 2 cups of broccoli, which is a lot.
Yeah, so if you're like 200 grams of broccoli per se would probably be like 5-6 grams of fiber.
And I need to get how much per day?
Well,
ideally,
I would say typically what the recommended dose is 15 grams per 1,000 calories intake. Because if you're eating, low calories, it's difficult to get enough fiber in. But based on, and again, these are cohort studies, but you can't do 20-year-long randomized human control trials, unfortunately. There doesn't really appear to be a top end, at least for the benefits of fiber. It probably boils down to like how much you can tolerate without feeling uncomfortable, right? Because if you're eating like a ton of fiber, I mean, at some point, it's not going to be very comfortable.
Yeah, exercise becomes uncomfortable or hazardous, yeah.
And actually, kind of touching on that because I think it is important. A lot of people have kind of, in the carnivore community, said, well, you don't need fiber. You poop just fine without it. And I always say, well, pooping is the last reason to have fiber. Like, yes, it does help. It does seem to make elimination easier. You can, do it more frequently, adds bulk to stool. But that's not why you should eat fiber. Why you should eat fiber is because of the effects on mortality. And some of the pushback will be, well, this is healthy user bias. And what I'll say is...
Meaning healthy people do this and therefore it's working.
Healthy people eat more fiber and therefore...
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, yeah, there's something to that. But if it was just healthy user bias, typically you would see some disagreement between the studies. And a great example of that is like red meat. So not every study shows red meat has an association with cancer and mortality. There's differences depending on the population used, depending on like what they define as high red meat, low red meat, whether it's processed, unprocessed. But I have not found a study on fiber and cardiovascular disease and cancer and mortality where it did not show improvements from higher fiber. So to me, that suggests that effect is real. And so again, as much fiber as you can get in comfortably, I would try to do it because it seems to have some really powerful effects and is good for the gut microbiome.